Hey everyone, Two Angry Frogs here with Atku Druid, and we've just hit level 70. Our Moonkin friend here is sitting at eye level 301, and we want to get him geared up and ready to tackle the next level of content. So what Dragonflight content is available, and how do we avoid some of the pitfalls while gearing? Well, our goal with this video is to show you the world content, renown tracks, and the many other available sources for gearing your character. This can be done without requiring any dungeon or raid content, and is great if you crunch for time or have limited gameplay time throughout the week. But before we begin, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you always know what we're up to next. And thank you to everyone for your support. Now, let's get into it. We will approach our gearing in two phases. The first being those activities that award random gear, and then moving on to those that you select your gear. This approach will help ensure that we fill in all gear slots and avoid the pitfall of having one piece of gear drag down our character eye level. The first thing we do is pick up the Aiding the Accord quest from Therazol and Valdrakken. Select the Emerald Dream event since we will already be doing these for gearing. The Emerald Dream event will either be Emerald Bounty, requiring us to plant 3 Dream Seeds, or Super Bloom, which is simply completing the Super Bloom weekly event. So with that done, let's head to the Emerald Dream, where we will pick up 2 quests in the central encampment. Talk to Keeper Amram to accept a Worthy Ally Dream Wardens, which requires we obtain 1500 Dream Wardens reputation, and pick up Blooming Dream Seeds from Talissa Whisper Bloom, which requires planting 5 Dream Seeds. One thing to note here is that Super Blooms start at each hour at the top of the hour. So depending on what time you're playing, you may have to wait to start the Super Bloom event. To complete the Blooming Dream Seeds quest, you need to go to Emerald Bounty planting areas. These are marked on your map with a small green seed icon, and note that these do not show up on the map unless you get close enough to them. There are 2 ways that you can complete planting. First, if you see a Dream Seed already planted, when you click on the plant, you will see a Dream Seed option and an Emerald Dewdrops option. If you select the Dream Seed option, that counts as planting a seed. The second way to complete planting is when you see an unplanted Emerald Bounty location. Plant a seed by simply clicking on it from your inventory. When the planting is completed, click on the Dream Seed cache. Rewards can include Flight Stones and Crests, which are used for improving our gear later on, as well as Dream Warden reputation and crafting materials. 2 important things to note here. Unless the nurturing bar is filled to 50, you do not receive reputation rewards, and Dream Seeds are a great way to get reputation towards completing the Worthy Ally quest. Second, only the first 5 Dream Seed caches will give good reputation rewards. After the 5th, Dream Seed caches will only reward a maximum of 20 reputation for each cache. The Super Bloom event will be shown as a small battle horn icon on your map and is right outside of the central encampment. Before starting the event, talk to Clarel and accept the quest, the Super Bloom. This event runs in 2 phases. The first phase has you completing various tasks and fighting off enemies that periodically attack Spruce Crown, or Ancient Tree Fruit. The tasks include things like watering plants, shooing away bug clouds, and pulling weeds. As the group completes activities and disperses enemies, the bloom bar will fill up, and at each breakpoint, a Dream Trove bag is added to your inventory, which includes items such as Flight Stones, Emerald Dewdrops, and Dream Seeds. During the second phase, you will be tasked with dispersing waves of Primalist enemies, and finally defeating Verland Timbercrush to complete the event. Once completed, turn in the quest to Clarel, who is standing near the area to collect the cache of overblooming treasures. The final activity we want to complete in the Emerald Dream is the world boss Orostar. This weekly quest is marked on your map with a purple elite icon and the quest Hibernation Heroes. If you click on the icon, the quest is added to your objectives tracker, and you can directly click on the eye icon to find a group for the event. Completing the quest rewards Dream Warden reputation and other items such as Flight Stones, Crests, and Dream Seeds. More importantly, you have a chance for a random eye level 441 piece of gear to drop. Now that we have completed the Emerald Dream event, let's head back to the central encampment to turn in the quests and see what gear we have up to this point. As you see for Atku Druid, the Emerald Dream weeklies reward gear at 441 eye level and above. This is a nice quick boost for our Moonkin as we move into the next phase of gearing. Before we leave the Emerald Dream, let's take a look at the Dream Warden Renowned rewards. As you can see, at Renown rank 7, we can pick up eye level 441 hands, and at Renown rank 14, we can buy the eye level 454 headgear. Back in Valdrakken, if you have completed the Aiding the Accord quest, It's best to go ahead and turn that in now, since this will be another random piece of gear. Unfortunately, in Atku Druid's case, we received another staff which is of lower eye level than the staff we just received, so that will not help us. For our next phase of gearing, it's beneficial to look at all of these events together. We recommend taking a look at your world quests first, since these are randomized, but you can directly target gear spots for what you need if a world quest gives gear. As we see, world quests will allow us to replace multiple pieces of gear at eye level 415. After you have addressed gear with world quests, we will complete 2 more events, Dream Surges and Time Rifts. Time Rifts occur hourly at the top of each hour, and are always at Terhold Reservoir in Thaldraszus. These are marked on your map with a small battle horn icon. Before the time rift starts, talk to Sor Dormi to accept the quest when time needs mending. It's important to note here that when the event starts, you must talk to Sor Dormi again to actually take part in the event. Time rifts, like super blooms, have 2 phases. In the first phase, you will be given tasks to complete. And to find where to complete these, you can view your map to see which area of the time rift is associated with that particular task. As the group completes tasks, you will be awarded Temporal Essence, and during the first phase, the goal is to fill up the Temporal Essence bar as much as possible. At each breakpoint, you will be rewarded with a box of Tampered, Volatile, or Collapsed Reality, which rewards Sor Dormi Reputation, and Paracausal Flakes that can be used to buy gear. In Phase 2, you will enter the portal in the center of the Time Rift area. You defeat the fractured causality that spawns for the specific timeway you are in. In our case, we were in the Azeroth timeway, so the boss was Overlord Mechagon. Once the boss is defeated, you'll be rewarded with a dilated time pod, and you can leave the timeway through the portal, where you're taken back to Sor Dormi. Back at Sor Dormi, turn in the When Time Needs Mending quest to get a contained Paracausality reward, which includes Sor Dormi Reputation and 1,000 Paracausal Flakes. Near Sor Dormi, there are 2 types of vendors that sell eye level 415 and eye level 428 gear. The first, She Everbreeze, allows you to pick a specific piece of gear with the dilated time pod. This includes trinkets, which are typically the most difficult gear slots to fill. The second are several vendors in the same area that sell trinkets for Paracausal Flakes, so time rifts can be a great way to address trinkets for your character. Note that if you have a main character with Paracausal Flakes, you can purchase Paracausal crates from She Everbreeze and send those to your alt to gain this currency very quickly. Dream Surges are weekly events that move to a new Dragonflight zone with each weekly reset, and can be found on your map at the green and purple flame icon. To start, visit Archdruid Hamel Rune Totem to pick up the Shaping the Dream Surge and Dream Surge investigation quests. To complete Shaping the Dream Surge, there are a number of things you can do to get the 100 Coalescence, including defeating rare elite enemies, completing the Waking Dream event, world quests, and other activities. You can see everything that awards Dream Surge Coalescence by hovering your mouse over the Dream Surge icon. Rare elite enemies are shown on your map with the elite enemy icon and spawn randomly. Note that all rare enemies in the zone reward a 415 eye level random drop, but the gear can be for any class. The Dream Surge Waking Dream is an otherworld activity that consists of 2 phases. When the event starts, you'll notice that the entire zone briefly changes to have a green hue, and a large flame icon will be shown on your map, indicating the location of the event. Note that the Waking Dream always occurs in the same location for the current Dream Surge zone. In the first phase of the event, you'll be defeating Primalists to fill up the defeated enemy's bar to 100%. When the bar hits 100, Phase 2 starts, and a random Waking Dream boss will spawn, which when defeated, completes the event. This event can be completed multiple times, and like with rare enemies, rewards a 415 eye level random drop. Once you have completed the Dream Surge quests, return to Archdruid Hamel Rune Totem. Shaping the Dream Surge rewards a Dream Surge Cocoon, which can be used to purchase a 428 eye level piece of gear. As with time rifts, you can use this to help fill in any gear gaps that you have. Dream Surge Investigation rewards a crate of Dreambound armor, which contains a random 415 eye level piece of gear that is specific to your class and specialization. Another gearing opportunity here is buying 415 eye level gear from Celestine. Each costs 100 Dream Surge Coalescence and allows you to target specific gear slots, so this is another good way to fill in any items. Note that if you have a main character that has Dream Surge Coalescence, You can buy the items and send them to your alts. The gear is only specific to a class and specialization when it's opened. In addition to what we have covered in the video, there are other world events introduced earlier in Dragonflight that can be completed to acquire gear at 415 to 428 eye level. You can see these listed here, but we do not find them to be very efficient for gearing your character due to multiple reasons. First, it can be difficult to find groups doing this content due to it being introduced much earlier in the expansion. Second, it can be difficult to gain enough reputation due to there not being enough world content to complete an event in a time-efficient way. And finally, at least for us, we found there are much more efficient ways to acquire 415 eye level gear, as we have talked about. In addition to world content, there are a couple of other options for gearing. The first includes buying gear on the auction house. As we have moved further into the expansion, gear at eye level 415 to 424 has become very cheap, and in many cases you can fill in any gear gaps for just a few hundred gold. The second option, crafting, can also be a very good source of gear, and typically at equal to higher eye level than the highest you would receive doing world content. Crafting is its own system with its own complexity, however, and requires a lot more involvement. There are many different ways to gear your character that do not require a significant amount of time. As would be anticipated, the best gear is tied to the latest content within the Emerald Dream, but you can get a great head start from older content as well. With Atku Druid, it took around 2 hours to complete all of the world content that we covered in this video, and with each weekly reset, we have an opportunity to keep pushing our eye level higher. One area we did not cover in the video is how to upgrade the gear we received. There is some complexity to the upgrade system, and we wanted to avoid further confusing people by not giving that system the time it needs. So look out for our next video, which will dive into the gear upgrade system, making it straightforward and easy to understand. Let us know what you do to gear your characters down below in the comments, and if there is anything you would like to see in future videos, be sure to let us know, and have a great day.